Story time, I have another one. So, 3 weeks ago, we get a call from a customer who's at the dealership, and I think I did do a video on this car. It's a Kia or a Hyundai. Has heavy oil consumption. I checked the air filter. It was completely clogged. He said it's consuming tons of oil, and he takes care of his car. Well, the air filter proves that he's not taking care of his car. So the dealer wanted like $3,000 to do his exhaust system or something like that. And he called us and said, how much is a converter? And, we were a fraction of the price. So once I evaluated the car, we said to the customer, your car requires repairs and maintenance. Your catalytic converter failed at 100,000 miles because you're not taking care of your car. Hence the air filter being clogged. So at this point in time, I said, hey, I want to change your air filter. Check your cabin air filter, probably disgusting as well. Put new spark plugs in it. Do a piston soak and a fuel injection service to help this converter that we're putting on there survive. So his factory one was failing at 70,000 miles because it was clogging with engine oil. How long do you think it's going to take for the new one to overheat and fail that we just put on? Well, about 3 weeks of driving. If you're adding a quart of oil a week on bad spark plugs with a dirty air filter and not trying to resolve the engine, because the cause is the engine, the effect is the catalytic converter. And he has an efficiency code. And this is why we don't warranty catalytic converters to people unless I deem the engine is running properly. Excessive oil consumption is a dirty air filter is a, could you imagine what the throttle body looks like? And a GDI service, he declined everything. And then he called, he's like, well, I thought it would last longer than that. Dude, we gave you 5 things that need major attention for us to warranty this converter. So now your converter is not clogged, but you got an efficiency code. And it's only failing because your engine and you're not maintaining the car. So GDI, spark plugs, piston, pre-soak, all the filters, and a throttle body service. I forget what it was. He's like, well, the dealer's going to give me a new engine. They're not going to give you new spark plugs. They're not going to give you a new belt. They're not going to give you a new air filter. They're not going to give you a new cabin air filter. They didn't even promise you an engine. They sealed the dipstick. They sealed the drain plug. And they said, drive the car and bring it back. And we're going to see how much the oil consumption is. They didn't guarantee you shit. But what I can guarantee is your new converter's failing every time you start your car because your engine is not maintained properly. Every 3,000 miles, change your oil. And at least every 10,000 miles on a GDI engine, do a GDI service. Do it yourself. Go pay and have it done. This is my point to people out here who say, we give recommendations that the dealerships aren't doing. We had a Honda in here today. I already know at 30,000 miles, your valves are dirty. You're going to take valves that are coked. There's oil coking and sludge on your valves and carbon buildup. At 40,000 miles, it's going to be worse. At 50,000 miles, you're going to have misfires. So you're going to need a tune-up, and then you're going to need extensive work to remove the carbon from your valves. When I know at 20-something thousand miles that I can help prevent that. So if you couldn't afford to follow my instructions now, what makes you think you're going to be able to afford it when I tell you I need $2,000 to decarbon your valves and tune your car up? Not on top of piston pre-soak if your piston rings aren't stuck from oil consumption. Then you would have wished you listened to me at 20-something thousand miles, because now your car is basically junk. And then you got to spend a ton of money because you didn't maintain it properly. And here's a guy like myself and many others out there saying, hey, you need maintenance sooner than later. And then I don't feel bad for people when they come in, especially one of my regular customers. And I love all of them. But when I tell you something's wrong and then you show up a year later and your car's worse, I told you so. Or you come in with problems. I say, hey, X, Y, Z, this, that, and that needs to be done. You're like, no, just do the converter. And then you come back and complain. Not all my customers, but they come back and complain and say my engine light's on. No kidding. What do you think your catalytic converter is doing with worn out spark plugs, dirty valves, no fuel injections, no throttle body, no PCV service? It's screaming help me because it can't handle the overload of unburnt fuel and oil and everything else that's going through it. So that's story 2 today. And the other guy wasn't mad, but I'm sure he's going to be mad when they put a new engine in. If they put a new engine in. If they put a new engine in and then he drives a converter, it's already damaged from the oil soaking the catalyst brick. There's no fixing that. You're not washing that out. I don't care what anyone says. So now he needs to buy another converter. And then if he continues with the same crappy maintenance practices, he's going to need another engine in 100,000 miles.